Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Not good, huh? Oh, good. I got a thumbs up. Good. Yay. All right. So sorry I logged in a little later than I was. I came back and like technology had taken over. Like we had a little tech issue while I left to go to the bathroom for 5 seconds. So it was crazy. But now we're all good. At least I hope so. Okay. We're going to, before we jump into finishing up yesterday and starting today, we are going to do a couple things. It's Thunderbird Thursday, which I know you're excited about. And I'm so excited, Karina, that it just decided to work today. So it's a mystery every day. I'm telling you, once I think I have it figured out, I don't. So it's all good. Is it really going to rain? Is it raining in anyone's house?
It rained a little bit over my area, but like a little bit in the morning, and then it's like sprinkling for like a few seconds.
Oh, okay. I rained a little bit this morning, but I don't think it's rained since. So weird. I know. I think we need like real rain.
Yeah, same here. It rained in the morning, like around 7. And then like around 9, it was still sprinkling, but it's not anymore, but it's definitely gloomy outside.
I'm loving the weather outside, but I was expecting it to rain all day.
Me too. I would love for it to rain today and tomorrow, and then Saturday it not to be raining so I could go hiking. Just because I got hiking plans on Saturday, right? So, I mean, not that I'm incompetent and I can't hike in the rain, but could hike in the rain, but I don't know if I'd hike as far if it was raining. All right. So, and Hannah came and visited me last night in office hours. It was amazing. We had a great time, didn't we, Hannah?
We did. I highly recommend office hours.
She highly recommends office hours. There you go. Yes. Okay. So what I want to share with you, and I don't know why I didn't put it in your slides. I just didn't. So, can you see my screen? I don't know why when I share my screen, everybody disappears like from Earth. Like it moves everything. I have 2 displays and it moves everybody to the same display. Are you seeing a screen that says Thunderbird Thursday? Are you seeing my Zoom screen of all of you? I knew that was going to happen. Okay. It's okay. I'm better now. Better now? Okay. So, we'll see. Okay. So there's a couple things on, yesterday was We Share Wednesday, and I'm not sure we shared enough Wednesday, but we'll share next Wednesday more. But Thunderbird Thursday is when I share stuff with you about like campus, something that's going on or something like that. So the first thing I want to share is the math department website. And the reason I wanted to share this is because we have some information on there. It's not always super up to date, but I'm trying to get the person who's supposed to be updating it to update it more often. But the math interludes workshop is the first thing I want to show you. And I think somebody in here went to one of them. I think I got a report of that. Yay! That's so exciting. I'm so excited that you went because I get a little email and then I go, love my students. They're amazing that they go to these things. Now, it might not be exactly what we're covering in class, but if there's some reasons to go to these interludes workshops and we'll talk about them. So here's the schedule for the first 2 weeks of interludes workshops. And you can read like solving linear equations, order of operations, how to use your scientific or graphing calculator, functions and relations, factoring trinomials, graphing lines. And some of you are like, wait a minute, we're not going to be factoring trinomials. We're not going to be graphing lines, right? And she said, we're probably not even going to use our calculators a ton. So why would I want to go to these? Well, it made me think about what Hannah and I were talking about yesterday, which was one of the things you can do if you are just getting your degree in elementary education is you can have somewhat of a specialty, right? And so you could do early childhood, that's an option. You could do STEM, you could do English language learners, you could do special education. All of these are options, right? But one option that a lot of people don't talk about that is really a great option is you could be considered what's called highly qualified in mathematics. Okay, so it's a certification that you can get, and you don't have to do it through ASU, NAU, whoever. You can just take a test and pass that test, and it gives you that designation on your certification. And some of you might really like math. You might have even taken calculus or something else, trig, or and you just might be real passionate about math. And it's one test. It is very long. I think it's 5 hours. It costs $95. But there's lots of study tools you can do. But one of the things that we're not covering that you would want to prep before you take that test is your algebra. Like you'd want to brush up on all your algebraic skills, which these math interludes would help with. Okay. And I do have a website that I'll send to you. I just can't place that email that one of my former students who was also a tutor at MCC. And if you did Educator Rising in the fall, he did the spotlight session. It's Bobby Walter. So I don't know if you know who Bobby is, but he's been my embedded tutor. He was in my 256, 257. He's doing his student teaching right now, and he's done with his NAU program. So he took the test, and so he sent me his study materials that he used. So like the website link, so I can share that with you. So if you're interested in that, these workshops would be a great way to brush up on your math skills if you've been away from math for a while. They won't necessarily help you directly with what we're covering in this class, but they definitely would help you indirectly and would help you in the future. So, and that's always going to be there. That link will always be there. The other thing is if you're new to Canvas, which I don't think many of you are, but some of you may be, down here on this link down here at the bottom, you can enroll in Canvas 101, which explains how to access different things in Canvas. Like we talked about the calendar tool a little bit, right? So it just gives you some little insight on how to use the different tools in Canvas. The other one, this is one of my favorites right here, student success workshops. They start next week. There's online learning success, time management, test taking, motivate and engage, manage stress and anxiety. Who doesn't need that one? Pretty sure I need that one. Flip your math mindset and surviving college. So all of these are available free to you. And the other reason I'm sharing this with you is you might not need it, but your friend, neighbor, relative, somebody else you know might need these too. So they're available to anyone. So make sure you look at those. And then the last thing that I want to show you today on our Thunderbird Thursday is Evelyn asked me a question. I'm going to think about that for a minute, make sure I get clarification. Do you mind, Evelyn, if I repeat that question to everyone?
No, I do not mind. Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll talk about that in just a second. I just lost my chat for a minute. It disappeared. But so services and campus resources. This is a link to part of MCC's website where you can get so much info. We have our curbside market. We have We Care Wednesday. We have lots of community resources. You can reserve equipment. You can, reserve a computer on campus. our handbook, discounted bus vouchers. We have so much going on campus. This is a great place to see this. So literally, I've just barely scratched the surface of what MCC has available. This week was a little overwhelming. I just threw a bunch at you. Each week, I'm just focusing on just a tiny part. So next week will be much more compact and directed at what I want you to say, and you know what I want you to get from it. But these community resources, we are a community college to support our community, not just our students. So if you know someone who is in need of food or other resources, please direct them to MCC, right? We have so much. We also have career services. Did you know our career services is open to anyone in the public as well? You do not have to be an MCC student. That's why we're a community college. So if you know somebody who lost their job, we have resume writing, interviewing, we have job postings, we have so much. So please don't think it's just limited to you as a student. I love supporting our students and I would love for you to get the resources you need. But also, if you have an elderly neighbor that you're worried about because they're going grocery shopping or they can't go grocery shopping or something like that, you could do a We Care Wednesday or a Mesa Market curbside pickup, go get some food and drop that at their house, right? So just know that if you need the food personally, we're happy to support our students, but we also know that a lot of you are really caring about your surroundings and your community. So if there's someone else who needs something, please direct them to MCC or help them out because it's really, really important. Because this is a crazy, crazy time and it doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. I know you can keep saying vaccine, but I'm just saying. Okay. Um, so that's all of that. So much. And if I don't know the information, I will find it out for you. The other thing is the Educator Rising Club. Who's a member of Ed Rising? Yeah, all of you should be members of Ed Rising, just so you know. It's our Educator Rising Club on campus. It's basically for future educators. And if you haven't been a part of it before, you should be part of it now. Beth Olson is your, what is it called? Faculty leader. And then, which some of you have Beth or have had Beth in the past. And then your president right now is Savannah Baines, who's in my online 257 class right now. And I'm a helper advisor. So, and I hate boring meetings. So I don't know if their meetings are boring, but they definitely will not be now because I thought the student spotlight was awesome. So keep that in mind. As soon as I get more info, I'll let you know. I think we're supposed to meet on Thursdays this spring because last semester they met on Wednesdays and I could never meet on Wednesdays because I had another meeting. So, but this semester I think it's Thursdays. But I haven't heard anything yet. Have any of you? I should probably know. Okay. So I will check that out and keep you guys up to date. So Evelyn asked a question, could you be a teacher with a liberal arts degree? So that's, a very interesting question. So if you have your bachelor's degree, sorry, it's dog barking time. So if you have your bachelor's degree in, are you saying like something like English, which would be considered a liberal arts degree?
It's an emphasis in math and science.
Oh, with an emphasis in math and science. Now, but it's not an elementary education degree.
No.
Okay. So the certification requirements, it depends on what level you want to teach. If you want to teach K-8 or if you want to teach 7-12. So there's two different certifications, right? So K-8 teachers have to have like an elementary education degree so they can be certified in K through 8th grade. So you would have to have taken some elementary education courses. If you want to teach 7th through 12th grade, it's a secondary education degree. And a secondary education degree is not in education. It's usually in whatever you're interested in teaching. So if you teach English or if you want to teach history or something like that, you probably only have to take a couple education courses for that. So my undergraduate degree is in math. So I had my 712 certification to teach in middle school. I did not have, I had to take like maybe 2 education classes to teach before I got my certification. But if you look on the State Department of Education's website, you can see what their certification requirements are for the different levels. If you have your degree, you can get emergency certification for certain things. And then for you to be certified in mathematics at a certain level, you either have to pass the test or you have to have specific hours in that. So it's kind of a vaguish question, but if you're worried or you want to talk to someone or you know somebody who wants to talk to someone, this is secret information if you're ready. The Phoenix Department of Education is very hard to talk to. Has anyone noticed that? It's kind of hard to get information from them. Like, it's hard to make an appointment. They don't usually answer their phones. They're just busy, right? Because they're in Phoenix. Tucson, nobody ever calls them. Just call them on the phone. They totally answer their phone. And it's state certification, right? So it doesn't matter that you don't live in Tucson, right? So when I needed something, I just called Tucson. And I got all my information answered right away. So that's like secret information that Tucson seems to have. And I would say call Flagstaff, and they are helpful, but Flagstaff's almost too small that they get busy as well. So Tucson seems to be just the right size to get the answers that you need, right? Because at each level, there's different certifications. The more certifications you can get, the better, the more marketable you become. So Evelyn, I know that wasn't an exact answer, but I hope that helped.
Yeah, it did help. Thank you.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Alyssa, I love that. Okay. So those are my I don't even know what they were called anymore. I've lost my mind. Thunderbird Thursday things. I always have so much. We could have like a whole chat with Roxanne happy hour because I read, I don't know. I just have too much information from other places that I feel like I'm okay. You know your worst attribute, right? Have you ever done something called Strengths Quest? Strengths Quest is where they take all your worst attributes and they somehow make them positive. It's true. So I love Strengths Quest and I did it. I'm what's called an input person, right? And I'm a collector. So when I read an email, the email could literally be nothing that I'm interested at all. It could be an email about, I don't know, collecting mason jars for a craft, which I would be like, why would I ever need to do that? But I file that piece of information and I file that email somewhere. And it's the weirdest thing because usually within a couple days of me reading some obscure piece of information, I run into someone who goes, hey, I've been wanting to find mason jars for a craft. Do you know where I can get that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where you can get that. Hold on. And I pull out this information that I've collected. So I don't know what it is, but I do it all the time. I'm a hoarder of information. So and I love to go find it. So if you have any questions, I'm your person to go find it. Okay. So that being said, welcome to Thursday. And welcome to, I fixed the dunk tank assignment and a lot of you submitted it. It wasn't very exciting. It wasn't near as exciting as dunking the cat in the other assignment, let me tell you. But we make do. It was kind of a good lesson on really looking at the numbers because if you got them wrong, it didn't let you, like it told you they were wrong, right? Okay, so you could complete that now. I want to do some more with set theory today, but I want to finish up our chickens and pigs. Yeah, that we started yesterday. So chickens and pigs, we started yesterday. We really only did step 1 and step 2. Remember that? And step 1, does anyone remember what step 1 was?
Isn't it understand the problem?
Yay, it is understand the problem. And understand the problem we want to do, givens, goals, and a conjecture, right? And Hannah and I were chatting about how important the conjecture is, right? How it can become a really important step that we've probably been skipping all along. And then step 2, what was step 2?
Devise a plan.
Nice. Devise a plan. So don't do your plan yet. Just pick your plan. And we actually started talking about some of our plans yesterday. We talked about like how some of us wanted to write a system of equations, and maybe that shouldn't be our go-to plan if we're going to teach 4th grade. Right? It works and it's a great plan and I love it and I would do it and I can follow your work. But is there a different way to do it? And some of us talked about, I think we talked about it, drawing a picture maybe. Yeah, that could be someone's plan. So, and that would be model with mathematics, right? You could make a table, right? Any of those kind of things. So, did anyone finish? Like they finished the whole problem? A couple people? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I have no idea what groups you were in yesterday. I mean, I could pretend I do. I can pretend I know what groups you were in, but I don't think I really do. So let me, oh my gosh, there's a new choice on here. Let participants choose their room. Sorry, that was never there before. And that is just the most exciting thing on earth to me right now. So I have to assign you to rooms. Didn't know I could let participants choose their rooms. That's new. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like Elena, Alyssa, Amanda, and Bethel were all in the same room. Haha. Okay. And then I feel Betty, Brianna, Bree, and Emma were in the same room. Oh, okay. And then Essay, Evelyn, Hannah, and Jessica. Is that right? Hannah Lowe. I think that's right. We're just guessing. If it's not, it's okay. You can yell at me or you can just live with your new group. And then Hannah, Miles, Karen, Karina, and Kelsey. And then Madison, McKenna, Michaela, Sunita. And then did I have 4 people in a room? That seems like a lot. Seems excessive. Is that what I had? Okay. And then Sydney, Tristan, Tyler, and Vanessa. Okay. If those rooms are wrong, I think you can be flexible. I'm going to put you back in your rooms, but only for like 5 minutes. Does that sound good? You can go over step 3 and step 4. What I really am looking for is what was your strategy, right? Yeah, I mean, I hope we all get the right answer, but I really want to investigate some strategies. So we're solving chickens and pigs. Remember, it was 23 animals, chickens and pigs, and 70 feet. Okay. Questions? All right, go. Did you guys all finish? Who came back so fast? Yes.
I think this is our whole group.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. Because sometimes people wait, until, because like you have 27 more seconds. Some people wait till it forces them back. I took a drink of water wrong and I was choking while you guys were gone. So I'm glad I'm over it now. And I hope it's on the recording. That would be wonderful. Hello, hello. You made it back. I know not everybody finished. It's okay. So no panicking, no having anxiety attacks. Okay. It's okay. We're just going to go with the flow because we're really talking about the process, not necessarily about the answer. We'll get the answer, right? But we're talking about the process and how we get there. So this is what I have neglected to talk about this week, which I'm going to make sure I talk about it today. How do you share your work with me? So one of the ways you can share your work with me, I talked about it in the syllabus is, and my children have stolen all of mine, which I need to put them back. You could have a small whiteboard, right, that you're working on, and you could hold it up on a small whiteboard. Like Karina, you have your small whiteboard there. You could show it that way. Some of you are electronic-y, right? And you did it like on your iPad and you could share your screen, or you have a touch laptop screen and you did it all electronically. So you could share your screen that way. Some of you did it on old-fashioned paper, right? Which is totally fine, but sometimes it's hard for us to see. So if you did it on paper, just try to make sure you write large enough for us to see. You could always, just so you know, this is an option. You can take a picture of that and then insert it into a Google Doc, right? That image of your handwritten work, and then you could screen share that Google Doc with us, just so you know if that's the way you prefer, because sometimes it's really hard. You can also change your view to speaker view. So if someone talks, then if you change it to speaker view and they're holding something up, you would be able to see it better, right? Because it would be bigger than just this little piece of paper if you're not on speaker view. Okay. Speaker view is supposed to switch it. So whoever's talking, it goes to, but my speaker view never seems to work out that way. So, and you can pin people if they're going to talk. So, can you just give me a thumbs up with or like this, or with your reaction emoji if you finished the problem? You have an answer and you're confident in your answer. Okay, I see a few. We're going to do number talks, and we're going to learn about number talks. And one of the things that kids do in number talks is if they still need some time thinking, you know, they give a certain signal, so they still need some time thinking. So don't feel bad if you still needed some time. What I want to talk about, is there anyone who's willing to share their strategy? Even if it's algebraic, I'm fine with that. So like share your work so we can see. So basically now we're on step 3, right? So can you show me your work for step 3? Okay, Jessica said she would. Okay, I'm ready.
So I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can because, like I said in the chat, I have people working on the heater and it's right on my wall.
You're good. Sounds good so far.
Okay. So I decided to do the 10 grid idea since it was a little bit easier to do than algebraic. So I automatically did 10 pigs and 10 chickens and see what it would give me. So it gave me 40 pig feet and 20 chicken feet. So I had that together and it left me at 60 feet. So then I have to figure out, okay, how do I get 10 more feet? So I just decided to do 4 plus 4 plus 2. So meaning 2 more pigs and 1 more chicken. And then it led me to step 4, kind of checking my math and seeing if that works out for an answer, which it did. So I don't know if you want me to continue or.
Excellent. Did you do it on just paper?
Yeah, here. So like kind of try to hide the answers.
Nice. So she just drew a picture. You can see. And are your dots animals or feet?
Both. So like I did sets. So like for chicken it's 2 feet, but you can count it as 1.
Okay. So your dots were really legs, right?
Yeah.
And your sets of dots were animals.
Yes.
Excellent. Perfect. And so, which seemed very clear to you when you were doing it, but when you're trying to explain it to someone else, you might want to even write a key there, right? That says each dot represents a foot. And so 2 dots together as a set would be 1 chicken, and 4 dots together would be 1 pig. Does that make sense? Seems like over explaining, but it's not there. I'm not sure there is such a thing as over explaining. So, and it doesn't have to be like a big paragraph of words. but it can be like a little key, right? Off to the side. So excellent. Did anyone do something similar or different or whatever?
I did
Sunita?
something. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Bree, we'll
I
do
was-
Sunita and then we'll do Bree and then we'll do Karina. Karina, were you volunteering? Did I dream that? Okay, so we'll do Sunita first.
So I did pretty much the same as her. I did like the 2 little chicken feet and then the 4 pigs feet. And then I did a table. I started from 10 and just kind of went down and added and to see what was gonna work. So then that's pretty much like my answer.
Okay, so Sunita, like your bottom part is like kind of like a guess and check or like a
Yeah.
table,
Well,
and your top part is like your solution, right?
yeah.
Okay, so if you hold it up again so we can look at it. I love it. It's very clear. I can see things very nicely labeled. I do have one criteria down here at the bottom. When you're showing your work, where you have 13 times 2 equals 26 and 12 times 2 equals 24 and 11 times 2 equals 22. And then you have over on the other side, 10 times 4 equals 40 and so on. And then in the middle, you have 26 plus 40. Can you tell us how your units would have changed from, column to column in your table?
Well, when I did 10, I just subtracted 10 from 23 to make 13. So that way there would always be 23 animals. Yeah. Until I got to like 70. I didn't have to do that far down.
So basically, your 13 on that far left matches with the 10 on the far
Yeah.
right to give
Yeah.
you the total number of animals. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you see how some labels would really be helpful right there if I was trying to follow along? So the left-hand side is the number of chickens times the number of feet per chicken, which gives us the number of feet from the chickens. The far right side is telling us the number of pigs times the number of feet per pig, which gives us the number of pig feet. And then the middle is your total feet, right? So you took your chicken
Yeah.
feet from the left and your pig feet from the right, and you combined them to find your total number of feet. And
Yeah.
that's how you ended up with that bottom middle value of 22 plus 48 equals 70.
Yeah.
Excellent. So do you see how labeling is going to be amazing? And you're like, I know, but my whiteboard was super tiny and I ran out of room. That's totally fine. And you could label like the tops of columns. And once you see some of my feedback on your work, you're going to see that's a work, Sunita. That is a work that I just saw. A work. And then I would just put a plus on your A by if we added some more labels, right? Jessica, sound like yours too? Very nice. Excellent. Great job. We can give them like hand claps or like party hats or whatever. In class, we do very specific things, but it's harder online. So, okay. By the way, what we do in class, just in case you're wondering, one of my favorite elementary school things is we do 1 clap on 3. So we would go 1, 2, right? And that would be our like celebrating the person. And it's very specific because I don't know if you've ever had a smarty aleck in your class before, but you're like, oh, let's, they're done presenting, which if you do this well, if you practice MP3 in your class all the time, you have kids presenting their information all the time, like daily. And if they clap like this after every single person, then half your class is gone, right? And you're so excited that they clapped, but now they're just kind of being snarky. So then it was just very controlled and specific. It was 1 clap on 3, 1, 2, and everybody would clap, and it was super fun. So just helpful hints for you. Okay, let's do, who did I say? Did I see Bree and then Karina? Okay, Bree.
Okay, so I used a really simple method, I felt like, after I started thinking about it. And it's kind of sloppy, and I don't know if you can see it, but I made a table, and one side was pig and one side was chicken. And we knew that the pig had 4 legs and the chicken had 2 legs. So on my table, I put, well, I'll just explain it and then I'll show you after. So I put 4 legs under pig and then 2 legs under chicken. And I added that up, which was 6. Okay, so now I know I have 6 legs. and then so on. And then like for pig, I did 2, like the next pig was 4, 2, which was 12. And then until I got to 70. So the pig column had one more thing on the column than the chicken did, which gave me my answer of 23 animals with, yeah.
Perfect. Now just hold it up for a minute so we can just look at it.
Tell me if you can see it.
Perfect. Just leave it right there. Okay. And if you have it in speaker view, it looks really nice. Like I can see everything. So she, just like she said, she has her pig column and her chicken column. And then the count must be the number of animals on the left. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. And then under the pig, it's just 4s every time because that's how many legs they have. And then on the right, it's how many legs they have. And then can you tell me where it says chicken, where it says 23 and then it counts down? What is that?
Oh, so then after I figured it out, I was like, did I just figure it out? So then I went on this side, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I went back up. So I was just me counting to see how many animals I got.
Oh, okay. So that was like your verification step, right? So you were just
Yeah, that was
verifying
just
after you were
me
done.
sloppily writing it down when we were getting disconnected. And then
Excellent.
I added up. Yeah. So
Excellent.
that's
So
how I found that.
did a table, but like with a drawing. Excellent. And then Karina.
So in our group, we like kind of struggled with getting past like how to do it without an algebraic equation. So we decided to go with like the picture method, drawing it out. So we drew 23 circles, and the way I did it is I just drew like 4 legs on each circle until I got to 70, and then I had circles without legs, so I subtracted 2 until I got to 70 to the end. So the red C's are chickens, and then the ones with 4 legs are pigs. Like kind of try to cover the answer. There you go.
Nice. Nice. So like a guess and check, hold up your picture though, so we can see it for longer. So kind of like a guess and check, but you strategically started with 4 legs on everything until you got to 70 legs. And then you got rid of legs, right? Which really what you were doing, you weren't chopping off their legs or anything. You were just changing from pigs to chickens, right? Excellent. Excellent. Very nice. Did anyone do it differently?
I just did the algebra.
Yeah, you want to show us your algebra? Let's see it.
Show you my algebra. So I wrote down what I knew, the 23 animals, 70 feet, and then I defined my variables, x equals pigs, y equals chickens. I created my 2 equations, 4x plus 2y equals 70, that's the feet equation, x plus y equals 23, that is the animal equation. Sorry, I'm reading this backwards. Then I isolated a variable, I isolated y, and then I plugged y into the feet equation, which is what you could see right there. Solved for x, and then I went back up and I plugged x into my animal equation so I could get y, and now I have x and y, which are my total number of chickens and pigs.
Very nice. Now, how many of you did it that way? How many of you did it algebraically like that? Or you were like, I was going to, and then you told us not to. So then I stopped. So now I don't want to admit it. It's okay. You'll see in my slides, I have that way, right? Like it's fine. So I am going to say that even if you do algebraic, you did almost perfect. So I would still give you an A, but to put that plus on your A, X doesn't equal pigs. Your variable, which we learn at the very, very end of this class, your variable needs to be quantifiable, right? And measurable. So it should be X should represent the number of pigs, right? And Y would represent the number of chickens. It sounds really, really specific, but you'll notice that MP6 is called attend to precision, right? And attending to precision, that's exactly what it is. So just what you've had, those teachers that leave labels off and you got lost in the middle and they think it's really obvious, but that's because they're the teacher. And you're sitting here like going like, no, it was not obvious. How about you just label it? So you're kind of playing two roles in this class. You're being the student, but you're being the student who wants to be a teacher. So you're going to have to flip between that student and teacher role and go, oh, okay, if I was the teacher showing this, I am going to label absolutely everything. And we were just not taught that way, but we are going to teach our students to be that way. So all our students in our classes are going to be mini teachers because they're going to be teaching each other every single day, right? It's going to be awesome. They're going to practice MP3 all the time. And okay, pet peeve as a teacher, one of the hardest things in your classes is to deal with non-starters. What would a non-starter be? If I said a student in my class was a non-starter, what would you say that kid is? Any ideas?
Unmotivated? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Hannah.
I was going to say unmotivated.
It could be unmotivated. Bethel, what else do you want to add?
I was gonna say like either they don't know exactly what you were saying, but instead of asking for help, they just sit there or pretend to be busy while everyone else is working. And then once you go by and you see that nothing's being done, it causes like a little like frustration.
Yeah, and usually they don't pretend to be busy. They literally just sit there like this. You give a problem and you go, okay, now everybody work on the problem. And you look around and some students are right there diligently looking in. And then there's the kid who's just sitting there literally doing nothing. I've had this happen in college classes. You walk by and you're like, can you pick up your pencil? Like we're all doing number 1 right now. Right. And so this happened in college to me. So if you can just multiply that by 20, because that's what would happen in elementary school. I walked away. I walked back. Literally all the person had done was pick up their pencil. And I was like, okay, maybe I was a little too literal. I actually need you to write some stuff down. Like it's crazy how that works. So non-starters are really frustrating as a teacher because you don't know how to help someone who hasn't done anything. And like Bethel said, maybe they're misunderstanding things. That's the beauty of this problem-solving strategy and the problem-solving template. If you've taught the strategy, there's nothing confusing about step 1. Step 1 is understand the problem. You can at least write down what you know, right? Even if you have no clue how to solve the problem, at least you can write down, oh, there's 23 animals on this farm. Right? And some are chickens and some are pigs. So non-starters, this is a way to get out of the non-starter role, is to get into how can I actually help students with their problem solving skills? Because I need them to start. I don't care if they do things wrong. We can fix wrong. We can't fix not done, right? We can't fix when they don't start the problem. Okay, good. So the train problem, Hannah and I worked out yesterday, and I challenged some of you to do actually I challenged all of you to do the train problem. Just as a quick question, we're not going to go over it, but is there anyone who tried the train problem besides Hannah and I? Okay, I'm going to challenge you again to try the train problem because the train problem teaches you something very specific, and Hannah will be proof that that problem is doable, right, Hannah? And it's not near as bad as you think it is when you start reading it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's about trains. That's like my worst nightmare of math, right? Gonna skip that problem. I promise you, if you try it, you can do it. And then you can come visit me or send me a message. And it's a very fun problem. Okay. So we're going to leave that. I think you have an idea now of the problem solving method and you have the template. Remember, you don't have to print out the template, right? You don't have to print out anything. You can do it without that. But I do want you to try your Farmer Hank problem. And Farmer Hank's a little harder, right? Am I right? Did anyone do Farmer Hank yet? Not yet?
No, but I've printed it out and to
Okay.
start taking a look at it.
Nice. And remember, it's okay if you don't print it out. You can still do the whole thing just on regular paper because I don't want anybody to be stressed that they don't have a printer. I don't want you running out and buying a printer or anything. You'll be fine without it. Okay. Can you see my screen right now? Is it Zoom or is it real numbers? Please tell me it's real numbers.
It's real numbers.
Thank goodness. Okay. Look at this picture. Nothing on here should be totally new to you. Come up with at least 2 statements about this image. Just think about them. Okay. I will be quiet for about, I don't know, maybe almost a whole minute while you think about it. All right. So what statements do you have about this image? They can be anything. Most obvious, least obvious. I don't care. You can type in the chat if you're scared to say it out loud.
For me, I see it like the 2 statements that came to mind were like great for visual learners, and it's great for sorting out the numbers and maybe even help the students remember where they go and how to identify them.
Yeah, nice. Did any of you think, boy, I wish I had this image before when I took 120, right? Yeah, intermediate algebra, this image would have been helpful for me to organize my ideas. By the way, this image is often wrong. I had to dig and dig and dig to find this particular image because sometimes they have 2 circles. So they have a big box of real numbers and they have a circle over here that's rational numbers and a circle over here that's irrational numbers and they don't overlap. But the problem is a number's either rational or irrational. Why is there space out there? Because that infers that there's something that's not rational or irrational. So remember me attending to precision, I have a lot of trouble with images that are incorrect because even though you don't realize it, you're actually teaching a falsehood that you didn't think about that you were teaching. So notice that these are all real numbers. You either are irrational or rational, no other choice. So natural numbers, this is just kind of review. Okay. Natural numbers begin with 1, right? So natural numbers are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on to positive infinity. And how do I remember that? I remember because if I asked somebody a question, like if I asked Madison, can you count to 10? Naturally, Madison would start with 1, right? We don't naturally start with 0. It's just not who we are, right? If you ask any kid, can you count to 10? They're not going to go 0, 1, 2, right? They're going to go 1, 2, 3. So naturally, we start at 1. So the only difference between natural numbers and whole numbers is whole numbers have an additional number as part of their set, and it is 0. Okay, so whole numbers start with a whole, get it? Like a 0 has a hole there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why the natural numbers are fully inside the whole numbers, right? Because every number that's a natural number is a whole number. Makes sense? So if now you're thinking Venn diagrams, because that's where we're headed, right? That's what we're going here. Then integers is the next circle. Does anyone know what integers are? Like, could you give me any definition of integers?
I thought integers were anything on the number line, like from negatives all the way to positives, right? Isn't it any number on the number line, or am I confusing that?
Madison, I'm so happy you said that. And I would say you are correct to an extent, but all numbers are on a number line, right?
True.
So you got to be a little careful about that. Here's the real definition for integers. It's the whole numbers and their opposites. Make sense? All the whole numbers and their opposites. Opposite means change the sign. That's what it means mathematically, right? So what's the opposite of 5? -5. What's the opposite of -100? +100, right? So all the whole numbers and their opposites. But Madison, I'm so happy you said that, because that is a definition you will see in an elementary school textbook, and it will drive you nuts from now on, right? So you're welcome. I just added that to your life. And notice that all whole numbers are included in integers, right? So every whole number is an integer, okay? But not every integer is a whole number. Yes? Okay, think about that. And then they're all rational numbers. Now, what's a rational number? Can anyone give me an example or a definition? You can just give me an example even. I don't care. Now everybody's nervous because Madison just answered.
I can go again. What do I have to lose?
I'm ready, Madison. Go.
Well, irrational numbers are numbers that some of them never end, right? Or they like not perfect square roots, right? Like they don't have like a perfect square root. So an example would be like the square root of 23, because that would never end, right?
Yeah, look at that. Look at me right on my screen with my pencil working. I know, it's amazing. Day 3, I'm on board now. Yeah, so irrational numbers are numbers that don't terminate or repeat, right? So we like that number, right? Some of you probably know that number, right? So square root of 23, square root of 5. So what's a rational number? If we just said what's an irrational number, what's a rational number? Hannah Lowe is telling me something. I'm ready, Hannah. Were you talking to me?
I was going to mention it can be divisible.
Like what?
Without a remainder.
Yeah, so give me an example. Any number, I don't care.
8.
Okay, so 8 is a rational number. Absolutely. Okay, 8 is also a natural number, a whole number, and an integer. So that's nice because it's in all those circles, right? Okay, how about this? Is this a rational number? Yeah. So what really, rational numbers are any numbers that can be written as a fraction. Weird. So I could write this negative, let's see, 1 over 433. That's a rational number, right? You might not love it, but it's still a rational number, right? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. So what's really weird is when we teach kids, we start with natural numbers, then we go to whole numbers, then we jump out here to rational numbers, which we would call fractions, right? And then we go back and do integers. That seems a little counterintuitive. Why didn't we just keep going with the circles? That would have been nice. That is a theory that some teachers teach. And I had a kid in, gosh, he must have been in 2nd grade that figured out negative numbers like on his own. Yeah, it was terrifying. Okay. We were doing something like this. We were doing 23 minus, trying to think of something we were doing, something like this. 23 minus 18. And he said, oh, 3 minus 8 is -5. And 2 minus 1, and he actually said 20 minus 10 is 10. And then he said, oh, so I know the answer must, oops, sorry. He said, I know the answer must be 5. And I was like, And he was in 2nd grade and I thought he was just being a smarty aleck, right? So I was like, oh, let's do another one. And I gave him another one. He could do it on any problem. His mathematics is 100% sound, right? I didn't have to correct him at all. He was right. Can you imagine if you were a teacher that didn't have a real strong background in math and you saw a kid doing this? What would you tell him? No, that's wrong. You can't do 8 minus 3 and get 5. And he says, no, I didn't do that. I did 3 take away 8 and I got -5. And I was like, okay, more power to you. See you later. And the teacher was like, that kid drives me nuts. And I was like, that kid is the best. Let's hang out sometime. Yeah. So be careful. Kids know more than they let on. I will tell you a story. When my son took, what's it called? NWEA. Do you know that test? The NWEA test. Yeah. So some of you know it. If you grew up in Tempe, they do the NWEA. So, and lots of places, it's a national test. My son took NWEA in kindergarten. I never helped him with math. He was just his math brain. He came home and I said, ooh, how'd you do on the NWEA? And he goes, I think I did pretty good. And he's like, but some of the symbols I didn't understand. And I said, oh, what was one of the symbols that you didn't understand? He goes, well, it said 56. And then it had a line with 2 dots. He was in kindergarten. And then he said, and then it had this. And I said, oh, what did you think it meant? And he goes, well, I figured it was asking how many groups of 7 were in 56. And I was like, interesting. Do you remember any of the other symbols that you didn't know? And he goes, yeah, there was one that was like this. And then it had a tiny number up here like this. And I said, oh, what did you think that number meant? And he said, well, I thought it meant 2 3s. So I did 3 times 3. So for some people, math is very intuitive, right? So yeah, that was in kindergarten. Terrifying. So we're going to talk about set theory. Some of you, if you scroll down, because we won't get through all of this, I promise you, but you can do a lot of this on your own. I'm trying to show you a document, by the way. We're finally going to get there. This document I have in our notebooks. It might not be posted yet, but it will be. This is a reminder of all the set theory symbols. Okay. So like the ones that I think are most important are things, first of all, you need to know a set, but definitely union and intersection. I don't really care about proper subset versus not a proper subset. I do care about the complement. And usually when we write the complement, we would say A with a little tick mark like that. That might seem familiar to you, or A with a line over it like this. But this is a reference sheet for you. And the reason we need to understand set theory is because it's going to be the basis of what we do later on. When we add and subtract, we can't do that unless we have a basic understanding of set theory. And then probably a lot of you remember it from probability. Yeah, because you used set theory and probability. And we'll do that in the second 8 weeks in 257. But so this is here for you as a reference sheet. But what I want you to do, sorry if you're getting dizzy, just close your eyes. I'm going to show you, there's a matching game. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to have a heart attack today because trying to figure out that other game. So this is a fun matching game. And what you're going to notice in your breakout rooms is that some of you know more than others of you. And that's totally fine. That's why I put you in a breakout room. Okay. So I'm going to put the game in the chat. I just put it in the chat. I'm going to open your breakout rooms. Here's what I think would be the easiest to do. You don't all have to open the game. Have one person in your group open the game and share their screen in your breakout room. Okay. And then you guys can all tell them what to do, it's a matching game, by the way. It should be a matching game. And then do you see it says after you complete your matching game, screenshot it. So you can screenshot it in your breakout room. You can save it to your computer or you can screenshot it. And then when we come back here, just put it in the chat to me so I can see it. Okay. If you finish early, you could play the other games. Okay. If you want. So any questions on what I want you to do? Did it open the game? And is it a matching game? I didn't lie. Okay, thank goodness. Yay. Okay, so talk tech between you. Once one person shares your screen, everybody can do. I mean, if you want to do it on your own, it's fine, but I only need one screenshot per group. Okay. All right, so I'm going to open our breakout rooms. Call me in if you need help. Bree, were you in room 2?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just had to
There
put
we
you back
go.
in there. And
Thank
you can
you.
keep your camera off if it's being real glitchy.
Okay, I switched to my phone and turned the Wi-Fi off, so that should be better, but
It's
I'll
annoying,
keep,
isn't it?
yeah. Well, I'm at work and the Wi-Fi like only in like certain parts really work, so.
I get you. I get you.
Okay.
All right.
Can you send that one more time? It disappeared, sorry. Oh, join breakout room, perfect, I got
find
it.
it?
All right,
Okay,
thank you,
good.
yep.
Yep. Some of you guys come back so fast and then the other people don't. It's so interesting. I'm fascinated by your groups because I don't know any of you well enough to know who should be with who or whatever. So it's just super fun. I love it. And some of you have like the face that's like familiar to me and I don't even think I know you. So why is your face familiar to me? Isn't that weird? Yeah, and it's you, Emma. Your face is familiar to me. I don't know what it is. But
That's funny. I have that with some people too, where it's like I feel like I know you from somewhere, but I don't know where.
and then it's just not real. It's just
Yep.
like I just pretended that I knew you. I called this girl in one of my classes once Jennifer for like 3 days, and her name was like Brianna or something. And she never said anything. And I figured it out. She looked exactly like this girl I know that was named Jennifer. And I was like, why would you let me do that? Like, I've lost my mind. Yeah. So sometimes when you're watching me, it's what not to do, right? I'm just kidding. Actually, my entire student teaching was what I should not do as a teacher. Yeah, the man I student taught with was like gonna retire, and pretty much he already was retiring. So crazy. Oh my gosh. Alyssa, thank you for letting me know.
Always.
And Amanda, thank you for letting me know. That's crazy and awful all the same time. Okay, so put your screenshot in the chat right now so I can just download it and I have it, just so I know you did it. And I know that some of you, it was really rusty, right? Here's the good news. I'm not giving you a test on set theory. That's stupid, right? I'm not doing that. What I want is these big ideas so we understand things that we really need to understand. Unions and intersections specifically. And if you go through the rest of my slides, because obviously I don't go through all of my slides every day, you will see what I'm talking about. And I think you have some homework problems. And I promise you, I will make sure we do some Venn diagrams on Monday. So if I have your more assignment due on Monday, just get as much done as you can, and then you could do some after class. If I have to extend that one, I'm not morally opposed to that, so I can do that. But get as far as you can, because we don't want to get too far behind. And then I'm putting your exit ticket in the chat as soon as I can get there. But oh, there we go. I found it. And then I might send you a couple videos, like support videos tomorrow or the next day. I know somebody asked about Gauss, but I think I have a Venn diagram video too that's me explaining a problem. So I might do that. And you can always review my slides because they're pretty good. You know, like they're pretty step by step when you go through them. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen one more time so you can use the QR code if you want. I did put the exit ticket in the chat. If anybody needs to ask me some questions before they go, I'm going to hang out here and answer your questions. Sorry, I know you might be getting dizzy. There you go. Don't forget to work through your week 1 module, complete your more homework. I know you have a lot of different assignments, but they're all kind of small-ish. It says play Dunk Tank, but it's not Dunk Tank anymore. It's something else. And then you're going to do your Farmer Hank. And then the team problem solving project will be published by tomorrow. I did make your teams, but I didn't publish that yet. So, and you don't have to do that. It's not due till February 8th. I think, but I just want you to get a sneak peek at it. Okay. All right. So, and if you get the exit ticket wrong, it's fine.
Roxanne.
Yes.
I screenshotted it because I thought it'd be easier on my phone, but it's not letting me send it in the chat. Do you want me to just send it to you?
Yeah, just
on Canvas.
Yeah, that's fine, Bree.
Okay. Thank you.
Emma.
Oh, we were in the same group. I got ours like up there.
Oh, okay. Bree, Emma got it.
Okay, perfect.
You're good to go. And hopefully that wasn't terribly hard. I know it might have seemed, you know, like you haven't done that in a long time, but notice all the other games you could play so you get good at it in like 10 minutes. Right? Because it just asks you the same thing in different ways. Okay, so if you finished your exit ticket, have a great weekend. If you have questions, just stay here. I'm ready, Sydney.
It's about the notebook. So do you have any like specific way that it needs to be, or do we just
I love these notebook questions. Beth and I are going to have a conversation about she needs to be a little less rigid so I can be a little, and maybe I need to be a little more rigid. Okay. Have you opened my OneNote yet?
Yeah, and it was completely confusing to me.
Okay. So in OneNote, I can probably show you. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So right here, here's my interactive notebook so far.
Yes, I saw that.
In OneNote. And so if you're wondering what you should have after week 1, you should have a table of concepts. Mine's just blank, but yours will have words on it. And I'll show you another resource you can't do. I have the standards. I have what do teachers do, what do students do, Poya's 4-step method, the sticky note summary. This is the chicken and pig problem that you probably have work from on there. This is going to be your Farmer Hank. And then I have my set theory paper that we talked about today. And then Venn diagrams. This is the end of the slides that we didn't finish. Sorry. That I think I have a video on that I'll show you and we'll finish up on Monday. So this is what your notebook could look like. The other thing your notebook could look like, let me see if I have it on here. Let me stop sharing here. Let me share you, because some of you really want something extraordinarily specific, which cracks me up, by the way.
I feel like I need an example, like to help me.
I know, but it just makes me laugh because I believe me, I understand. I was you. I'm just not anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go to Math 256 notebook. Let me go to, do I have spring? I'll show you. I'll just show you my fall. You have links to this. Let's go to your virtual classroom. That says 257. Why can't I find 256? Spring. Here we go. There it is. This is the one I want. I have too many copies of things. Can you tell? I have a digital nightmare. I will need to go on sabbatical for that. Okay. So if you click right here on interactive notebook, it'll take you to a Google Doc. In that Google Doc, this is going to be updated all the time. Just needs to be updated for the end of this week. Okay, so here's everything we've noticed that looks extraordinarily similar to the other one. Sticky note summary, kid-friendly standards of mathematical practice. What do teachers do? What do students do? Same thing like that. Okay, here's my sample paper notebook. If you click right there, this is what a paper notebook would look like. Like exactly. One moment, it's loading. Can you see my screen? Okay, good. So you should have a cover page. Look right here. You should have standards of mathematical practice, Poya's 4-step method. We didn't do benefits of discussion, but we did do set theory symbols and we did do Venn diagrams. So here's the what do teachers do? What do students do? Right? So this is what my notebook looks like. Yeah, there was my sticky note summary right there. Here's my Poya 4-step method, right? And there's my set theory symbols. Does this help you?
Yes, it does a lot.
Okay, so that's right there. And then the other part that you can do if you're not doing electronic, why did I just click stop share? Because I'm a Looney Tune. Okay. The other place you can look is here. I have an electronic notebook. This is falls, so this won't be identical to yours. I don't know why I didn't link it to Springs yet, but this is just an electronic version. Do you see? It's just not paper, but there's the standards of mathematical practice, the Poya 4-step method, Old McDonald's farm. So if we go down here, we can see there's my sticky note summary. Yeah, look at that. There's my standards. Are you doing okay? You see how it's very similar? Yeah. Oh, there's my old McDonald template. So when you're doing your Farmer Hank, if you want to look at my template, I don't know if I can make that giant. It won't get any bigger, but if you zoom in on this, you could probably just copy it and look at it. You can see what I mean by filling it out completely. So remember, this should look familiar. Total 23 chickens and pigs, 70 feet. How many chickens and how many pigs does he have on his farm? So when you're doing your Farmer Hank, if you want to see how specific I was, you can totally see this. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, is this helpful to you?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, excellent.
I just
Perfect.
needed to see something.
What?
I just needed to see something so I could
Perfect.
my head. So
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I showed that to you guys the other day. When will the other links for week 1 open up? Every link for week 1 should be open. Karina, I hope I'll try to do it this afternoon. And if not, it'll be by tomorrow morning.
I meant for the interactive notebook for that question. Because like if you go on
Oh,
the
like those set theory ones? Like these down here, set theory and Venn diagrams?
yeah, like
Oh,
it's like
sorry. Am I stop
half
sharing this?
is blue and half is not open yet.
This right here?
Yeah.
Today. I'll do it
Okay.
today. And so the patterns ones we're going to do next week. So I'll probably just slide these bottom two down to the next week because we didn't get that far because we only had 3 days this week instead of 4 days this week. So I'll probably just slide those down, but I'll put the rest of these up right away.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? I'm so sorry if this seems confusing. I don't want it to be.
I just wanted to add a comment to Jessica. For the set theory and the Venn diagram, there's also some videos and examples and more for that. So like that's kind of like what I was looking at. So that's why I asked like for notebooks and stuff.
Yeah,
so maybe
there's
that'll
a
help.
lot in more that are very helpful, but I will definitely update those links this afternoon so you have them as well. And then if you're stuck on anything or you have any questions, I obsessively check my email. Some of you might have noticed already, but just send me a message and I'll answer as soon as I can. Bye. Have a great weekend.